Police arrested the then 24-year-old here in Gilbert last June. In the first half of 2022, Phoenix Fire said they made 136 mountain rescues, and with the warmest months of 2023 fast approaching, experienced hikers know it's time to make some adjustments. More than 48 hours later, you can still see the path the stolen APS truck took as it ran off the road and got stuck in this canal. But right now, it looks more like a rushing river. Obviously, the road closed because of these conditions, but that didn't stop one driver last night from trying to take their off-road vehicle and get across. Police tape left where a truck crashed into more than a dozen bikers, killing 2 of them. Hundreds of people showed up Sunday to Oceanside Ice Arena for what will be its final skate. The water was up to the street here where the paint ends. Now it is receding on Cornville Road where it was washed out earlier this morning. You can see some of that water still remaining. Turf Paradise has stood in this spot off Bell Road for nearly 7 decades, and the proposed commercial and residential space coming in to replace it leaves some fans longing for more. Silicon Valley Bank was the nation's 16th largest, but after a rush of investor withdrawals, the bank has now collapsed. Carefree is 8.8 square miles, and response times have increased from this station to the western part of Carefree in recent years. Once here, some of the victims told police that Munguia would allegedly carry them through this gate into a casita behind the house where he would film himself. The water in these tanks on this ranch is meant for the livestock, but it's becoming more and more valuable to the people of this community, too.
I want to bring in Ford Hatchett right now. He was on the ground as well. You spoke with some people who were affected by this cleanup as well as those still living in the zone. What was their take on what happened today?
Well, as I'm sure you know, Javier, it was a pretty emotional day for everybody involved to see. You mentioned demolition crews come through here. You were here yesterday, we were here this morning, and these sidewalks were covered. So to see them empty now, you know, less than 12 hours later after this cleanup got started is pretty striking. And for folks that used to live right here and in the surrounding blocks, I think the question as to what comes next is still a big unknown. This block of 9th Avenue, the beginning of a court-mandated zone cleanup.
I was here when they started at like 5:30.
Timothy Olney says he's lived here for 17 months. His space now bulldozed away. What are the emotions that you feel when you see all this, when you see this cleanup happen?
Oh, infuriation, obviously. I mean, it's natural.
A few blocks away, people understand the cleaning crews will eventually come for their spaces.
I don't know really where I'm gonna go, man. So, it's gonna be hard for me to figure out what the hell I'm gonna do. Yeah. But I don't know, man. Yeah, we gotta figure it out.
Mary Lou Martinez and Trisha Kelly welcomed us into their home Wednesday. They say life on the street is comfortable because people here don't judge them the way they say some observers do.
They run out here taking pictures and video and they look at us and start treating us like disgrace.
The city hasn't said which block they plan to clean next. For those living here, there's a sense of unknown, a familiar feeling that comes with the territory.
This is not the life I had planned for us. But right now, this is all we got.
Timothy has 3 dogs.
Come on.
Motivation for him, but he worries his struggles reading will prevent him from finding work.
I'm ready to go work. I do whatever I do to get off the streets. You know?
And when we asked the city yesterday, they said there were still about 800 people living without shelter. So while the images of today, Javi, might have been pretty jarring to see that demolition crew and bulldozers come through and clean up stuff, we're going to have to get used to that because there is still a lot of work to be done here to get more people off the street and the zone cleaned up fully to comply with that court order.
Yeah, this is day one. There's so many heartbreaking stories. And as you see that demolition crew move in and move their belongings out, it really hits home, doesn't it?
And I'll tell you, we saw even some people with their pets. We saw some of the dogs in that story there. We saw a cat that was left behind this morning. It really just kind of puts some of the humanity into it as too. And you see people having to make decisions about what they take with them.
You're exactly right. All right, great reporting. Thank you.
There was like an immediate gloom.
It was 3 a.m. when John Edgley got the call no one wants. His niece Jana and her youngest daughter Joy were killed in a car crash.
They were apparently just sitting at a red light when the drunk driver hit him and ripped their car in two. And I don't know how fast you have to be going to do that.
Joy had recently celebrated her 10th birthday. She and her family were on the way to her great-grandmother's house to pick up her birthday gift, one she never got to open.
Our hope is always in God, and our faith is in God. They pass away on a Good Friday, and that is never going to be the same for us.
Also in the family's car was Dad Chino and 16-year-old brother Ryan. Ryan has a broken back, legs, and ribs, but doctors are hopeful the teen will pull through. It's unclear what happened to the driver of the car that hit the family, but Scottsdale police say they survived.
We forgive him, and that we hope he can move on with his life and somehow find a way to reconcile that.
For John, the holiday weekend is forever changed as he replays memories and a conversation he had with Jana about their faith.
And, that's where we find our strength. And I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring for us, but I believe that our faith will pull us through.
Fort Hatchett, ABC 15, Arizona. It's been a challenging year for ASU ice hockey coach Greg Powers. The team has lost more players to injury this season than the past 4 combined.
We were so short bodies, we just knew we needed a set of legs.
So last week, he looked to the school's club ice hockey teams, Brendan Studioso, who got a text during class.
I didn't know if it was actually real. I was like, you think this is what I think?
A few days later, Brendan was on a flight with the NCAA team to Alaska, but not really anticipating playing.
Didn't have any expectations, just for him to be there and eat some minutes when we needed him to, and really he had a job of getting the puck out and getting the puck in and getting off the ice, right, and giving our guys a little bit of a rest.
But with a late lead and a man advantage,
I sent him out there with the top power play unit and literally said nobody shoots but Studi.
And Studi got his chance.
And Ducky came around the net, and I was like, I think I got a lane to shoot it, so I just put my stick up, and I was like, please pass it. And as soon as it went in, I was more shocked than almost maybe everyone else, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And yeah, I saw it go in, and right after that, I pretty much blacked out.
The bench congratulating him along with his club teammates watching back in Tempe.
Let's go! Yeah!
Post-game, the team awards a trident to the game's MVP.
I think we all know who's getting this one. Welcome to the big leagues, kids are going for it.
We always were talking about kind of how it was a little bit of a fairy tale, and it was a really cool story.
You know how special of a moment it was just to put on that jersey for him, let alone get on the ice and get some playing time and then score a goal. It's something he'll never forget for the rest of his life.
In Tempe, Fort Hatchett, ABC 15, Arizona.